Happy Monday, Facebook friends. I'm Beth Berry. I'm Vice President of Growth and Alliance for Real Green. How was your weekend? All you moms out there, were you treated right? I had a fantastic weekend. I was showered with love and affection from my children. My youngest graduated from college. That's fun. The third one off the payroll. They're never off the payroll. You friends of mine with littles, they are never off the payroll. Exciting news from the world of travel. Southwest Airlines from my hometown of Indianapolis just announced direct flights to Miami. Have you noticed more and more people are traveling? Hard to get rental cars. I happen to be going to Miami this week. I really wish that direct flight would have been there this week, but I'm there for it. I'm ready for travel. I'm ready for shows. We are excited to see our customers. Hopefully you all are doing fantastic. We see a few live shows coming up on the calendar, and we're there for it. We have a lot to cover in news today. H2B update from my friends at NALP, Andrew Bray, Bob Mann. NALP has been working closely with Capitol Hill champions and communicating with the admin to get the H2B supplemental 22,000 visa rule published as soon as possible. I don't know if you guys are looking at the same calendar I am. It's May 10th. We really needed to have these in place before May 10th, but it's not. So we're hoping that NALP can help us. Unfortunately, NALP has heard that the rule authorizing the release will likely not be published until the week before Memorial Day. Not helping us a whole lot. Here's what's in it. It will require employers to contact any furloughed U.S. workers to repost the job order. That makes sense. Hey, let's hire from at home first. This can be done after the petition submission to DHS and will not likely require a new TLC. Visas for workers from outside the Northern Triangle countries will be limited to returning workers. There will not be a returning worker requirement for workers from the Northern Triangle countries. There will be some worker portability component that will allow workers to change jobs, move to higher wage paying employers. There will be an irreparable harm attestation that will be followed with possible DOL adjudication. Thank you. Employers should make sure that they have documentation to support the irreparable harm claim if you go down that path. The applications for the 22,000 supplemental visas will be overprescribed based on current demand, and a new lottery will be conducted to allocate the visas. Wow. You know, I saw that Montana this week has revoked unemployment. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, we can't get enough people to fill the jobs. The Dairy Queen in Fortville, by where I live, closed like at 4 o'clock the other day. Cannot get people to show up. So why would you have an unemployment program? Disability, for sure, have that program. But why would you have unemployment? Next up, immigration reform update and hearing. Last week, during his first presidential address to Congress, President Biden called on Congress to pass his immigration reform proposal in response to the increased criticism from Republicans amid the crisis at the border. Biden's proposal would allow millions of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. to apply for legal status, increase aid to Central America, refocus border control measures, and expand legal immigration. House Democrats have introduced a bill based on this framework, but it is yet to pass in Congress. The House did pass 2 immigration reform bills last month that would legalize certain subsects of the illegal immigrants into the country. NALP will continue to track the immigration debate and provide updates when necessary. Next up, near and dear to my heart, Sustainable Urban Forest Coalitions request funding for trees and green infrastructure. Last week, NALP, as a member of the Sustainable Urban Forest Coalition, submitted funding request asking for continued funding for many critical programs that assist the green industry. highlighting that urban trees and forest are one of the very few resources that can connect the administration's priorities regarding climate change, environmental justice, and workforce development. Some of the specifics in this program include urban and community forestry programs. They assist state governments, nonprofits, and partners that manage and steward our nation's urban and community forest. Also, clean water state revolving funds. Green infrastructure, including urban forests, can be a cost-effective and resilient approach to managing stormwater, okay? Urban forest and forest inventory and analysis, the collaborative efforts between SUFC and the USDA Forest Service brought urban forest data into the mainstream of the agency's national data collection program. Next, non-native insects and disease research. There will be funding for research conducted by USFS on 10 non-native pests that have decreased 10 million in fiscal year 2010 to only 2.5 million in 2020. Wow. So we do need some help with those non-native insects and diseases. And lastly, they will be participating in outdoor recreation legacy partnership programs. The state and local assistance program provides matching grants to states and localities for protection and development of parks and rec resources. More on that later. Raise your hand if you have ever used biosolid fertilizer in lawn and landscape. Raise your hand. I'm going to place a link, a SurveyMonkey link. I'm the queen of SurveyMonkey now. I know you've been getting them from me. I appreciate it. I love your feedback. This one is helping my friend Bob Mann and some others at NALP. We need to know, do you use biosolid fertilizers in your lawn and landscape maintenance program? Is there a reason why you would not use them? NALP intern and George Mason University graduate student Charlotte Jonid has designed a survey to investigate our uses of this byproduct of municipal wastewater treatment programs. So we would love your feedback on that. North Carolina, we're going to switch over to the states now. Representative, oh, this is yet another neonicotinoid bill. Representative Pricey Harrison has introduced House Bill 828, which would classify neonic insecticides as restricted use products, removing them from retail sales to the public. The intelligence we are getting on this bill is that it has little change of moving forward in the current legislative term. Many times, bills such as these are trial balloons designed not necessarily to pass on the first try, but rather to test the waters and gauge levels of support. Look for this bill to reappear in the near future. Maine, I'm tired of talking about Maine. Unless it's lobsters or blueberries, I'm tired of talking about you, Maine. Get with the program here. Pesticide use and reporting bill was heard in committee. Representative Lori Osher's pesticide sales and use registry bill was heard in Tuesday's meeting of the Maine Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry Committee. The bill's premise is to find ways to minimize the amount of pesticide needed to effectively control pests through the implementation of integrated pest management, IPM to UNI. The bill then seeks to amend current law by requiring pesticide dealers to report to the Board of Pesticide Control Sales all of the pesticides on a monthly basis. For applicators beginning in 2024, applicators must report to the BPC a report of all pesticide applications. Now, if you're using Service Assistant, we've got you. This will be no problem. It will include products used and their amounts, along with name, address, telephone number, and email of the applicator, as well as the name and address of the customer the day prior to the application. The Real Green team and I, probably in conjunction with AMA, we will figure this out for you. Not a problem, because Service Assistant already does all this. It's done all this for years. It's just the one more thing you all have to do. NALP's Bob Mann joined reps from across the spectrum of ag, hort, and pest control to point out serious privacy concerns this bill brings up, including the publication of data on treatments for bed bugs and rodents. Do you really want your neighbors knowing that Hampton Inn has that? especially at lodging and eating establishments. BPC Director Megan Patterson detailed what she termed as real concerns about implementing such requirements. NALP member and lawn care operator Jeremy Lagasse told the committee that while he appreciates the desire for transparency, such a requirement would unnecessarily heighten public anxiety over pesticide use. Praise to you, brother. Praise to you. Okay. Lagasse went on to point out that he saw the legislation as being in conflict with the federal Canned Spam Act. That's when you make mistakes with email, for one, and that posting personal information is an invitation for data mining. I would say the same. The bill will further be debated in an upcoming work session. That seems very improbable that that could pass. Rhode Island, Neonic bill appears dead, but it could be resurrected at the final hour. So as of now, the hearing that was held on March 26th, where everyone got to voice their opinions, as of right now, the bill is tabled and there does not seem to be an appetite to move it forward, other than possibly as a bargaining chip for an 11th hour negotiation on another topic at the end of the session. Those politicians, you gotta love it. The White House grapples with reports of labor shortage and inflation as recovery picks up steam. Really important to those of us in the green industry. Senior Biden economic officials have in recent weeks been peppered by complaints from restaurant groups, the construction industry, and other businesses about their inability to find enough workers as the US economy begins to recover from the pandemic. Brian Deese, a director of White House National Economic Council, has highlighted the matter as a potential of concern in internal conversations with the president's economic team. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has cautioned privately against overreacting to anecdotes of worker shortage, arguing that more data and time is needed before they assume that this reflects a genuine problem in the American economy. I'm glad we're having this conversation because a year ago, we weren't sure what May of 2021 would look like. Would it be massive unemployment? Would the effects of the pandemic go on and on? So this is a great problem to have, but it does seem like one we need to solve. In the green industry, we already had this problem pre-COVID, right? We could not get enough people. I was at the Workforce Summit the day we all got shut down and got sent home, unceremoniously plucked from our homes. So it's a real problem, and it's a big problem now, even post-COVID. Maybe Montana's right. You just pull the unemployment, then people have to go to work. Okay, this is another interesting topic that just cracks me up in a way. It says, Quiet Clean Northern Virginia group forms to ban gas-powered leaf blowers. They call it acoustic trash. Acoustic trash, never heard that. Critics say that gas-powered leaf blowers are obnoxiously loud and dirty. Studies suggest that they can damage your hearing and harm the environment, but proponents argue they're efficient and cost savings. We are talking about gas-powered leaf blowers, and many of you use them if you're mowing. You use them with dry fertilizer to clean up the walk, and of course for leaf blowing, but it is a staple in the green industry. You may have heard them a bit more this past year while being at home during the pandemic. So did that heighten the awareness? Now there's a growing movement to ban these machines, and a newly formed group is leading a fight that's unfolding on front yards with Northern Virginia. What do you guys think about that? Is that happening near you? So regulatory compliance, pesticide bans, neonics, these are words that have been in the vernacular for a while, but this, what do they call it? Acoustic trash. This one is picking up steam. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? More on that later. You want to know what Bob Mann, one of my favorite people, he replied back to them because they think these groups say, even with the Mercedes of blowers, this is for the pros, it's noisier compared to my little putt-putt. The two-stroke gas-powered leaf blower is popular because it's light, affordable, and powerful. Some produce wind speeds that top 200 miles per hour. That could hurt a small dog or child, right? It says Ed Ramos with Holy Land Landscaping. That's down in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to Miami. Maybe I should go to Orlando too. Says gas-powered leaf blowers are lightning fast, allowing his team to do more jobs. Any of you in this industry that uses gas-powered blowers, almost all of you, would be hard pressed to complete those jobs in the same amount of time with the same amount of labor at the same cost, right? So if we get those taken away from us and you have brooms, first of all, how many of your technicians want to use a broom? Not very many. It's gonna drive up cost. So here is what Bob Mann had to say in response to this. Equipment performance, runtime, and cost are common concerns for landscapers and technology challenges that must be overcome for widespread use of battery-powered landscape equipment. That's what they'd like. Little Teslas, think of it that way. Unlike a homeowner that uses an electric-powered leaf blower or mower for less than an hour in a week, the landscape industry is using this equipment daily under rigorous conditions and during long durations. Unfortunately, the currently available battery-powered equipment is not capable of this sort of use pattern at this time. It is also important to remember that battery-powered equipment is powered by electricity that is generated via methods that create emissions. God, Bob, you are so smart. The infrastructure and technology is not in place with not in place within the industry to support fully integrated powers. We continue to work closely with partners that manufacture equipment used within the industry to see when we can make that transition. So unfortunately, proposals to ban or restrict gas-powered leaf blowers or other gas-powered landscape equipment is misguided and incredibly punitive on small businesses. We just take a moment. Give Bob a round of applause. Are you a member of NALP? Why not? That is the kind of support and representation we get from Andrew Bray, Bob Mann, and the whole crew there. Love you, Bob Mann. It's fantastic. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I will have a best practice for you midweek. I think I'm going to get Greg Woodbury. Have you guys met Greg Woodbury? He's been in our sales department now for a couple of years. He is oftentimes featured hosting Real Green webinars. He's terrific. We're going to talk about a specific aspect of Service Assistant for best practice. I hope you all have a terrific week. If there's anything we can help you with, raise your hand. I'm going to drop this BioSolid SurveyMonkey survey in the links here, unless Facebook does something to take it out. I'd like to know if you're using these biosolids. Our friends at NALP would like to know. It'll help us moving forward. Have a terrific day, and can't wait to see you guys soon.